Niccolo Machiavelli had a very particular view on the human nature. He said that the human being is a selfish being, that he only looks after his own interest and he only looks after what is best to him, what fits better of his own moves. He said that the human nature is deceptive, that human beings are always going to be deceptive and suspicious about their real interests in life. He said that the human nature is completely Machiavellian. Since we are selfish humans, we tend to search for power and our own interest through a Machiavellian way of living and of thinking. He says that humans, since they have in their nature, are always seeking for power and they want to do what's better for them during their current situation. He says that the human beings have a way of living according to rule someone or to be ruled. So it's a constant competition for power. Niccolo Machiavelli, through his book The Prince, shows his view about a perfect leader and what is needed to have a good leadership. He says that a leader needs to be a fox and a lion. This means that sometimes he needs to be good with the people and sometimes a good leader needs to be hard with them, depending on the convenience of it. He says that a great leader needs to be feared and loved by its people. Be a hard leader, but sometimes be soft with the people, the two sides of the coin. He also says that a great leader needs to have a hitman to do all the dirty work for him, a confident guy who takes care of the unpleasant business in a physical and tactical manner. This in order to keep ruled in his kingdom. He also says that a good leader needs to be half fortuna and half virtue. This means he needs to have luck and he needs to have merits to be a good leader. He says that popular people and popular leaders win more rather than competent people. This means that a good leader needs to be loved and liked by the people, by the masses, so he can rule in a proper way. He also says that there are very few princes in the world, since this is not an easy matter. He also argues that an effective leader can harness the weaker traits of humanity in his people to great effect, in the same way that sheepdog can manipulate his herd of sheep. This means a good leader knows how to control its people and do what's convenient for him and what's convenient for them, so he can have a good ruling. Niccolo Machiavelli also had a very particular view of an ideal state. He says, and he viewed the Roman Republic as an ideal way of government. He believed that the well-being of the state is the responsibility of the ruler and should be achieved by any means possible, even by deceptions, treacheries, and intrigues. He also argues that a good leader, state, needs to be in charge of its people, even if this means sometimes having hard matters with them. This should be used to keep control. He also says that by analyzing politics using military theory, he concludes that the essence of the most political life is conspiracy. He says that a state should take care of its people and be hard with them when it's necessary and be soft with them when it's not, so they can keep a good ruling with them. In his less popular work, Discourses of Lively, he strongly advocated republican rather than any form of monarchy or oligarchy.
Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Human nature according to Rousseau. Rousseau argued that man was born free. He believes in the natural essence of freedom. For him, in the state of nature, humans are naturally good. They are happy and live free without institutions, out of any war or conflict. Rousseau thought that man lived by its self-love and the compassion. When men live in the state of nature, they are a good savage, and they live in peace with the environment and nature. But he also believed that men were perverted by institutions. That's because institutions represent richness and power. He knew that in the contemporary societies must be achieved by other means, and that's why he proposes a social contract. He argued that the natural freedom is limited only by the strength of every man. In a civil liberty, it is limited by the general will. Social contract according to Rousseau. He said that we must find a form of association that will bring the whole common force to bear and on defending and protecting each associate's person and goods, doing this in such a way that each of them, while uniting himself with all, still obeys only himself and remains as free as before. Rousseau thought that the social order was a sacred right, which was the basis of all other rights. But this right it's not in nature and there must be founded on conventions. He really defended that when you give up a little bit of your liberty, you obtain a set of rights given by the state. And when the people accept the social contract, then they become the sovereign. Ideal state and leadership according to Rousseau. The ideals of Rousseau inspired the French Revolution. The concepts of general will and the sovereign will serve as a basis of a republican system. For Rousseau, the ideal state is that in which all citizens decide and legislate. He also thought that citizens are the sovereign independently from the form of government. He says that power must relapse on people and that there is no need of an authoritarian leader. The democratic system and the acceptance of the social contract then legitimizes the authority of the state.